This is episode number 171 of the Middle Country Public Library podcast. Hello and welcome. I'm Sal DiVincenzo, joined as usual by my fabulous colleagues, Sara Fate.
Hi.
And Nicole Rambo.
Hello.
How are you ladies doing?
Good.
I can't believe it's like we're literally like almost at the end of May here.
I know.
And today's a special day, actually.
Because yesterday was my birthday.
Yesterday was your birthday. Yes.
Yeah.
Happy
that's
birthday.
right, yeah.
Happy birthday, Nicole.
That's right.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
We knew that.
Happy birthday. Yes. But today, Nicole. Okay, so this is like the Boxing Day of your birthday, right? Because it's the day after your grand event.
Wow, you're
the grand
European now.
holiday. It's Museum Day.
Yay.
And this year we're doing virtual Museum Day for obvious reasons.
Yes.
But we thought we'd just do a show about museums and what we have to offer here at the library. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Sara, what do you got?
Well, in honor of
Nicole's birthday.
Nicole's birthday, yes, and Museum Day, I have a list here of New York's quirkiest museums.
Cool.
So this is for when we are back to being open, and I'm sure you can call these museums and make appointments to go in. And this is for those people who maybe are interested in quirky things, such as I'm sure all three of us would love to go to some of these. Some of them aren't that quirky, though, as you'll see. Okay, so the first one here, and these are all in New York,
Okay.
is called the City Reliquary, Reliquary.
Interesting.
Okay, and it's the premier repository for ephemera and curios. So the storefront located in Williamsburg, of course, includes a gift shop modeled after a vintage dime store, a rotating exhibition hall, which is currently hosting a history of New York's most significant pizzerias as told through their boxes.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, as well as a show devoted to everything chicken. You heard it.
What?
Chicken.
Say that again?
A show devoted to everything chicken. And a permanent collection of only in New York odds and ends.
Oh,
So
cute.
that's in Brooklyn. We have, now I personally want to go to this one, ready? It is the Conjuring Arts Research Center.
Oh,
So,
like witches and stuff?
no, not like, well, you'll see. If the masters refuse to show you their tricks, head to this research library and dig through their collection of more than 11,000 books on magic, ventriloquism, I'll skip that, and sleight of hand, which is kind of cool.
Cool.
11,000, right?
Yes, yeah.
Whether you're an aspiring sorcerer or just curious about card tricks, the knowledgeable research aides will be able to help you find your grimoire. So I'm assuming they'll have some really cool things in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to know how they do it. I like to be like, ooh.
Like, for some reason, I don't think you'll still
Yeah.
know how to do it. But I think
the whole museum is a big trick.
yeah, well, it might be cool to go in. The Dörfner Judaica Museum, it's the Hebrew home at Riverdale, assembled a marvelous trove of Jewish antiquities from before the Holocaust, along with a modern art collection with pieces by Alex Katz, Ben Shahn, and Andy Warhol. Currently on view is the nightmare reminiscent work of Slovakian surrealist Vincent Holznick.
Oh, that's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's you have nightmares to take out, please? Yes. Okay. Down the hall.
And of course, this is a little niche, but
Okay.
we have the Elevator Historical Society Museum.
Wow.
Without elevators, where would we be?
Yeah.
Which is part of the point of this collection, run by respected industry professionals, Patrick Karajat, who is the author of The History of the American Elevator Industry. Located in Long Island City, the museum offers plaques, elevator controls, and floor indicators, among other items, detailing the ups and downs of elevator lore. Yeah. Then there's the New York City Fire Museum.
Okay.
Nice.
That is in New York City. It's a dream come true for anyone who ever fantasized about being a fireman as a kid. So that is good. Then we have the
Cool.
Louis Armstrong House,
Oh,
Oh, wow.
which is in
Yeah.
Queens. It's a National Historic Landmark,
Yeah.
and it's the home of the jazz legend. It houses his personal collection of 1,600 recordings and memorabilia.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Then we have Merchant's House Museum. It's a perfectly preserved late Federal Greek revival house, complete with its original furniture, which will take you back to the elegant world of New York's 19th century upper middle class.
Oh, I want to go.
Mm-hmm. So the house was occupied for nearly a century between 1835 and 1933 by the family of hardware purveyor Seabury Treadwell and his descendants.
That's cool. I'd go to that.
Seabury
That sounds like a
Treadwell.
ghost story. When yeah. Then we have the Micro Museum.
Tiny thing.
The brainchild of interdisciplinary artists Kathleen and William Laziza, the museum celebrates American ingenuity, invention, and artful innovation with a wacky assortment of interactive video displays, computer games, audio tricks, special effects, and musical props.
That also sounds very
Yeah.
cool.
That's in Brooklyn.
These are cool museums.
Sorry. Then we have the museum, and it's spelled MMUSEUMM.
Okay.
Okay. A self-described modern natural history museum devoted to the curation and exhibition of contemporary artifacts that illustrates the complexities of the modern world.
Oh, okay.
So right now, they have oddball presentations such as toothpaste tubes from around the world, hand-modified Russian watches,
Okay.
and personal possessions found in the Pacific.
You know what? I got to tell you, this is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Either that, or if this was like the M&M museum, because there was all those M's, then I would also be interested.
Well, you have to go in there with M&Ms.
Yes,
like,
there you go.
Okay, we don't have that much more, but Museum of American Finance.
Oh.
Has anyone here seen a $10,000 bill? Anybody? Anybody?
No.
Yeah, right.
And also the person on this $10,000 bill is Salmon. His name is Salmon. Salmon P. Chase, Secretary of the Treasury from 1861 to 1864. So it's
I don't know. Sounds a little fishy.
Bum, bum, bum. This is dedicated to the history of Wall Street and America's financial markets. The bill is there along with ticker tape from the morning of the 1929 stock market crash and a couch made of $30,000 worth of nickels.
Wow.
Yeah. The Obscura Antiques and Oddities is technically a shop more than a museum, but is nonetheless a place to drop in just to see its bizarre gatherings of antiques, stuffed animals, and freaky novelties, which include jarred piranhas, an assortment of preserved butterflies, and beetles displayed in boxes. The shop was once featured on the Discovery Channel program called Oddities.
It's like things in boxes and jars.
Yeah. And then there's a Museum of the American Gangster,
Oh, nice.
New York Transit Museum,
Oh, yeah.
and the Torah Animal World Museum in Brooklyn.
Cool.
Just
Cool.
a few things.
Yeah.
So, something for everybody.
It is amazing how you can find something very specific and make a museum out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Well,
Nicole, what's
Yeah.
going on?
So we have I'll read two things. So these are some museums that are doing things virtually and maybe in person. So you can call just like local, or actually they're not even local, like from the island and in the city, different museums. So there's like the AKC Museum of the Dog. Yeah, they have public programs, online resources, children's programs, stuff like that. We have Brookhaven National Lab. So they have some things.
Our neighbors to the east, yes.
On YouTube that you can check in. And this is a website, or this is a page on our website that we'll link in the show notes. I'm just like naming a couple things here. There is the Islip Art Museum, which I didn't know was a thing, but it is. So if you're interested in that, it's local, close to home. There is the Long Island Radio and Television Historical Society, and they offer a podcast and educational videos. We should get into that.
There you go.
A Long Island Music Hall of Fame. So I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I did.
The Museum of American Armor.
Oh, that sounds cool.
View photographs and facts about each of the historic tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, and other exhibits.
is that in Riverhead? No, it's out east, right?
It doesn't. On this-
Riverhead has the railroad museum in Riverhead.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, there's an Oyster Bay Railroad Museum as well.
There you go.
Oh.
We have the Parish Art Museum. I've been there. It's very nice.
Mhm.
There are the Planting Fields Arboretum. Tesla Science Center
There
at
you go.
Wardenclyffe.
There you go.
Yay. Our
Yes.
old buddy
Only
Tesla.
listen to Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yes. Everybody.
I hope they play that on loop at the Lions. So those are just some. There's a whole lot more. And then there's links. Once you go to the page, each museum has a link to it, so you could check out more information on that. And then for our celebration on Museum Day, we have the virtual program schedule. So at 10 a.m., Sweetbriar Nature Center is going to be doing something. It's a pre-recorded video on Facebook. And then at noon, the Southampton Historical Museum is doing a Gulliver's Travels. This one's live and is for adults on Zoom. At 2, the Wertheim National Wildlife Refuge. This is for all ages, and it's a virtual tour of the exhibit. At 4:15, we have Long Island Museum Fun and Games at Nesakeg Schoolhouse. This is for children in grades K to 3, again, live on Zoom. At 5 o'clock, we have Nature and Art virtual tour of the Paula Krasner House and Study Center, also live on Zoom. And then at 7 p.m., we have New York Marine Rescue Center. That's for all ages, and that's live on Zoom. And we also have several take and make programs for all ages. You can take a look online, see if you can contact us to see if you can get the kit still, but you can still watch them on YouTube. Absolutely. And if you have similar materials around, or you can. I know there was a painting one, and there was like a dog and dinosaur one and stuff. So, yeah, so check those out too. And that's our museum day this year.
Yes, hopefully you're listening to us on your way to work this morning, since this goes up on the day of Museum Day. So, give us a call, 631-585-9393, and perhaps we can get one of those kits to you if we have them. If not, I have to say most of our take and makes, you can probably go to a craft store and buy the supplies and make them yourselves.
And I know for at least the little ones, the person who put them together reads a story before too. So even if you have a little one, you just want to do like a quick story time, she does read a story before them too, which is cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So I have something today, believe it or not, about Museum Day. And it's a great service that we have here at the library that I haven't used yet, but I think this year I'm definitely going to use it for one of these museums in particular, or attractions in particular. But anyway, it's the Museum Pass program.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, the Museum Pass program is a program in which we circulate actual passes to area museums. And you can take the pass out, like you're taking out a library book, and you can use the pass to go to the museum. How cool is that?
Cool.
Each patron can have a maximum of 4 passes on request at any moment.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And no more than 1 for each particular museum, and no more than 1 used at a time.
Right.
Okay? And also, the majority of these passes let groups in.
Yeah. They might just say like 4 people or 2 adults, 2 kids.
Yeah, you have to just take a look at the thing.
Yep.
And of course, before I mention the museums that we have, obviously, COVID is still around, and it affects the museum's hours. So before you go all happy and crazy and click on the link and start getting your passes, just contact them and make sure they are in fact open.
Yeah, some of them do require like a reservation beforehand, so you can, be like you're going at 2 or something like that. So yeah, definitely call a museum and see what their guidelines are and how to work it out before you reserve it.
Yeah. You go to our website, you click on the museum passes, it's right on the home page at the bottom. We will put a link in the show notes for you. And there you go. And it is date based. There some passes are already taken out for specific dates, so you might not be able to get them.
We also, this was where it gets slightly confusing. And if you want to call, you can. It's the children's department that
the children's department does handle this. Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to go on a Saturday, we suggest that you actually reserve it for Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you come down and pick it up on that Friday. You'll go on Saturday, and then it'll be due back the next day. However, if it's Sunday, it's actually due back on Monday.
Okay, so it's a 2 day. Usually, it's a 2-day pass.
Right.
Okay. So just here's some of those museums, and it's interesting, Nicole, because you had mentioned one of these doing a virtual program today. But you have the American Air Power Museum, the American Kennel Club Museum of the Dog. Did you know that, Sarah? You can go to this museum of the dog.
There? Yeah.
No, it's nice. Yeah, this is a popular one: Brooklyn Botanical Garden, Children's Museum of Manhattan, Children's Museum of the East End, which is pretty cool. The Cold Spring Harbor Fish Hatchery. You want to go see some fish hatch? One of my favorites, the Cradle of Aviation. Have you been there? Have you been to the Cradle of Aviation? That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty neat. We have an Empire Pass now?
Yes.
Yeah,
wow.
we had it.
Yeah.
You can get an Empire Pass for the weekend and go to one of our wonderful New York State parks.
Popular. So
Yes.
book in advance. You can book up to, I think, 90 days out.
Yes, that's about what I'm noticing.
Yeah.
Fire Island Lighthouse is there. Guggenheim. Now, this one, I have to say, and I'm sorry if anybody who works at Harb's Barnyard Adventure out east is listening, because from now on, I am not going to pay for the annual pass. because when I want to go, I can just, I'm going to have to plan ahead because it's very popular.
Yeah.
But the Harbs Barnyard Adventure
Yeah.
is here. It's a pass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Heckscher Museum of Art, the Jewish Museum, Long Island Children's Museum is here.
That one's very popular.
Very
so
popular.
put that
The
in advance.
Long Island Maritime Museum. Our neighbors to the north, Long Island Museum of American Art, History, and Carriages in Stony Brook,
yeah.
which is very cool. MoMA.
I've been there with
Yes.
this pass. It was very good.
Yeah, MoMA. Let's see. Old Bethpage Village Restoration. There's more. I'm just picking out just a few here. Parish Art Museum is one of these. And Walt Whitman Birthplace State Historic Site.
Yeah.
So save yourself some money this
Yeah,
summer
yeah.
and go visit a museum using one of our fantastic museum passes. And it's as simple as, if you've used the Library of Things, you could do that where you click on the site, you pick your pass, you pick your date, and you're good to go. So very good. So happy birthday, Nicole. Happy belated birthday, Nicole. Happy Museum Day, everybody. Virtual Museum Day today, all day long. And if you want to listen to our older episodes and read our show notes, as usual, visit our website, mcplpodcast.com, or you can email us, right? If you have any ideas or anything for us, yeah, it's podcast at mcplibrary.org. So thank you so much for listening. For Sara Fade and Nicole Rambo, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. We'll see you on the next show.